Hello everyone, I'm Fopple from the Creator Circle. Welcome to this week's Creators Challenge. This week's challenge is about creative freedom, and we're going to explore that through words. What you're going to need is something to write with and something to write on. And if you'd rather do this digitally, that's fine. You can use a laptop or your phone or anything like that. If you'd rather kick it old school with a typewriter, go ahead and do that too. Just be sure that you're using your preferred method of text. Once you've settled on your method, we can get started with the challenge. Here we go. Step 1. The first part of this challenge is going to involve you writing 3 paragraphs. And these paragraphs don't have to have anything to do with each other, and they can be as long or as short as you'd like. I would probably suggest having at least 3 sentences per paragraph though. Before you get started, I'm going to put one rule on this whole thing. You are not allowed to erase anything. No scratching things out, no backtracking. In fact, once something comes to mind, you have to put it down on the page. No filtering, no vetting. Once you start a sentence, even just in your head, you have to finish it. The point of this whole thing is to just let yourself write. So go ahead and do that. Now, pause this video and give yourself some time to write. Once you're finished, we can get started with step 2. Alright, now you've finished your paragraphs and are ready for step 2. But listen, if you're not, please pause this video now, finish your paragraphs, and you can come back to this video later. And if you're not in a place or a position where you can finish with step 1 right now, stop this video and you can always come back to it later. Step 2 is ruined if you know about it before starting, so please, finish with step 1 and I'll be here when you finish. Alright, if you're still watching, I'm going to assume that you've finished with step 1 and are ready for step 2. Your 3 paragraphs. I want you to look over them, and I want you to use that as a basis for what we're going to do next. This really is the fun and quite possibly the most difficult part of this whole thing. I want you to write a song. Just a verse and a chorus, but a song nonetheless. Before you go running for the hills, just hear me out. Everything you need for this song is right in front of you. Your 3 paragraphs. Just your 3 paragraphs and a little bit of maneuvering. Here's a couple of rules before you get started. Number 1, you can only use sentences that are in your paragraphs. No adding words, no adding sentences. Rule number 2, whole sentences only. No partials. The exception being you can shorten sentences as long as the structural integrity of that sentence remains intact.
Hey guys, this is Fopple from editing. I wanted to clarify 2 things that may not have been really clear. 1, you can use sentences from any part of your paragraphs. You don't have to use them in order. 2nd, you can change words as long as they are synonyms. This gives you a little flexibility in a rhyming scheme if you choose to use a rhyming scheme. Try to do it as little as possible though, to keep just things as close to original form as possible. Hope that helps.
Now, because you're using your 3 sentences as material, I imagine that each one of you is going to experience a different kind and a different level of difficulty. Remember, you had the ability to write 3 paragraphs that were completely unrelated and any length that you wanted. Some of you may have quite a bit of trimming to do, and those who wrote dissimilar paragraphs may have to be a little creative. Alright, one more pause of this video to let you finish up with your songs, and then we'll reflect on this whole thing. See you in a bit. Got your songs? Great. So what's it all for? Well, there's quite a bit, so I'll break it down part by part for you. You have your personal takeaway, but add this to it. Step 1. When I was in college, a professor of mine told me something she had heard. A piece is never really finished, but at some point the artist decides to walk away. At some point, as a creator of original work, you may feel like you have to create. And not only that you have to create, but you may feel like you have to create something in a certain style. A friend called me out on this actually. One time she told me that the lyrics I was writing were starting to sound very structured, like I was trying to fit them into something and it was sounding kind of forced and unnatural. Then she suggested that I just write. Not necessarily for a song or for even music. Not even necessarily for anyone to hear or to share with anyone. Just write. So I did. And after I did this, I realized that it had been a long time since I had let myself just write for the sake of writing. And it felt good to just write. You're a creator, so you know the importance of being able to express yourself. But it's possible that your craft is stifling you. Rules, parameters, guidelines. Sometimes you just need to create, just to create. So what was it all about? Well, step 1 was all about letting yourself create freely. Step 2. This one may have been a little difficult. The likelihood is that you had to trim quite a bit off of your sentences in order to fit into a song. At some point you realized that you couldn't use everything. You had to be pretty selective as to what went into your song and what didn't. And if you did use everything, you might have missed the point of this challenge. The point is, not everything that you're going to create is going to make the cut, but every single one of those things has its place. You have to sift through the dirt in order to find the gold. How many gold nuggets did you find in the midst of the dirt? How many great sentences did you find in the midst of some things that weren't that great? Maybe you had this one golden sentence out of an entire paragraph. But here's a question. Would you have been able to come up with that one golden sentence if it weren't for the entire paragraph? One thing leads to another, even if it's bad. One bad thing may lead to 100 bad things, which may lead to one really good thing. Don't discount your dirt. So that's what this part was about. What did you take from this? What was the hardest part for you in writing your song? Let us know in the comments below. See you next week.
Hey guys, it's Fopple from the Creator Circle. Thanks for watching this week's Creators Challenge. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and hit the like button down below. If you want to be notified for all future videos of this channel, why don't you hit the subscribe orb that I have right here. Yeah, see you next week, guys.